Imagine a world where biosecurity is no longer an issue. Farmers will no longer have to worry about the threat of a virus coming in and wiping out their herd. Biosecurity is defined as the procedures intended to protect humans or animals against disease or other harmful biological agents. I'm going to tell you about two different viruses, one that involves livestock and the other that does not. The first will be the avian influenza virus, and the second will be the canine influenza virus. My hope is that by the end of this presentation, you can all take away one simple thing that you can do to prevent the spread of disease. First, we will talk a little bit about the avian influenza and what it is. There are two types of influenza in poultry, low pathogenic avian influenza and highly pathogenic avian influenza. Symptoms of LPAI include respiratory signs such as conjunctivitis and nasal discharge, ruffled feathers, or a drop in egg production. The primary symptoms of HPAI, however, are a little more drastic, as it is sudden death. We need our poultry to stay healthy for human consumption and byproduct use. Minnesota is the largest ranking turkey producer in the United States. Therefore, Minnesotans rely heavily on the poultry industry for many of their needs. According to a study done by Purdue University, there are approximately 8 billion chickens consumed every year in the United States. Aside from eating poultry, we also use many of their byproducts. Not only do we use the byproducts, but our pets do as well. Poultry byproduct meal is a commodity of high protein used in many pet foods. If the disease continues to spread, we not only lose our food, but many of the products that we use in our day-to-day lives. However, biosecurity is no longer just a threat to the livestock industry. These diseases that used to only be spread between livestock are now able to transfer to canines as well. The canine virus is a highly contagious virus spreading through canines in the United States. The first case was reported 12 years ago in 2004. During the outbreak in 2004 at a Florida Greyhound track, 8 of the 22 dogs infected died. Since then, the virus has slowly been spreading through the canine population for over the last 10 years. The canine virus is very similar to influenza viruses in other species. It is an acute respiratory infection with signs similar to respiratory disease. Its official name is influenza A subtype H3N8. Symptoms of the disease include coughing and gagging for up to 3 weeks and a high fever. Some may even go on to develop viral pneumonia, if not cared for properly. The proper way to treat the virus is with antibiotics and a lot of fluids. The antibiotics prevent the infected canine from picking up something else, while the fluids work to prevent dehydration. It was never deemed possible before that the virus could be spread to anything but livestock. Since 2004, however, there have been several documented cases of the virus in canines. This has put many on edge because now there is a question of whether or not a strain could mutate to become human-specific, like it did canine-specific. As of now, this is still not possible, but the spark of concern has led to more research on the issue. Which brings us back to the threat of biosecurity and how to prevent diseases like this from spreading. As I said before, biosecurity is the procedures intended to protect humans and animals against disease or any other harmful biological agents. This has been a big issue for farmers in the past and is still a controversial topic. We can use this disease as just one more example of how carelessness can easily spread deadly diseases from species to species. Now that we know a little about these diseases and where they came from, let's talk about how we can prevent the spread of disease. In general, there are some steps that everyone can take to prevent the spread. These steps include washing your hands when coming in contact with any animal, cleaning and disinfecting all clothing, footwear, and vehicles after a journey to a farm, and not intentionally bringing any diseased animal onto your land or anyone else's land. For example, in the case of avian influenza, there are some more specific preventive measures that you can take. If you own birds, avoid any opportunity for your birds to interact with wild birds. We know that wild waterfowl are carriers of disease. Therefore, the best way to avoid diseases being spread is to separate domestic animals from wild animals. Another way to prevent the spread is early detection, by knowing the signs to look for in both your own birds or out in public, for example, at a county fair. If birds do not look healthy, look for these signs: unusually quiet birds, nasal discharge, drop in egg production, decreased food and water consumption, or an increased number of deaths in your flock. Likewise, there are also specific things that you can do to help stop the spread of canine influenza. The first thing that you can do is to vaccinate your animal. This is the number one way to prevent your animals as well as others from contracting the disease. It is also important not to bring a sick animal into a public place. The virus can easily be spread when there are multiple dogs together, and bringing in a sick animal is almost guaranteeing the transmission. Use your best judgment when taking your animals in public. You never know what another animal is carrying, and if your animal isn't feeling well, do not bring them where there will be a lot of other animals coming in and out. These two viruses are great examples of how big of a problem biosecurity has become. We know the importance of both poultry and canines in our everyday lives. Therefore, it is our priority to keep them safe. Furthermore, the biosecurity of humans and animals everywhere needs to be protected, and it is our job to do so. This can be done by finding ways to prevent the spread of disease between all animals, livestock and non-livestock alike.